this question, who's the Lakers' weakest starter? And I actually think it's a very silly question because when it comes to the Lakers, and many teams are like this, but since it's about the Lakers, each Lakers starter plays this very specific role that makes sense for the starting lineup, right? Now, there are some teams out there that have, especially some of the younger teams where they just have like conflicting players at times, or, there's like kind of like, oh, well, how will this fit? How will this work? Or a guy playing out of position, or, something along those lines to where, okay, I can kind of understand and get the concept, get the idea, especially if it's like a poorer roster, something along those lines, right? But like if you take the Denver Nuggets, for example, right? The Denver Nuggets, each piece plays a very specific role that was a key cog in them winning the NBA championship. And I think for the Lakers, it's the same thing. The Lakers are very balanced in the starting five, much like the Denver Nuggets were, right? Now, obviously, you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. We'll start there because that's the easy one. They're your two stars that are going to be expected to handle a bulk of the load. LeBron James, not so much during the course of the regular season. Anthony Davis, even, I don't know how much they'll handle the workload during the regular season. But come playoff time, our success rests on these two guys, right? Can Anthony Davis be that dominant two-way player? Can LeBron James be the mastermind orchestrator that he is, and both guys be healthy? They both are very important in the starting unit, right? LeBron James as like that do everything, go get you 30 superstar level type player. Anthony Davis as your defensive anchor, a guy that can, again, go give you 30. He led the league last year in 30 and 15. I mean, LeBron James and Anthony Davis are, I feel, very self-explanatory, right? We don't really need to go into that too much. But then when you start getting to the other guys besides these two, I still think it's pretty self-explanatory, right? Like Austin Reaves. Austin Reaves' job in the starting lineup is to be that glue guy, to be that Swiss Army knife type player, a guy that can go and get you buckets, generate for himself, but also create for others, play some defense, have high IQ plays, play off the ball, play off of LeBron James, play off of Anthony Davis, operate and run the pick and roll, right? Be an efficient scorer and shooter. All of these things Austin Reaves provides, right? He's a guy that is the glue to the rest of the starters. So, you can make an argument Austin Reaves is the third most important starter on the Lakers roster, right? Now, we'll get into some of the other starters and stuff like that, and even like a potential conflict, but Austin Reaves, again, is that glue guy. He's the guy that can play on the ball if need be, can play alongside LeBron James. LeBron James loves him. He doesn't really make mistakes. He does the hard plays. He sacrifices his body. He does the dirty work, right? You need that on your roster. You need those guys that are willing to do the dirty work night in and night out and be heavily relied on. He was heavily relied on in the second half of the season as well as in the playoffs. I expect the Lakers to probably ride him more heavily than I think anyone else, because he is also kind of, not only is he the glue for the starters, you can also make the argument that he is kind of that gap player for the bench, right? He's the bridge from the bench unit to the starters. I'm not saying that he's going to play 40 minutes a game or anything like that, but like if everyone else is getting like 25 minutes a game, I could see Austin Reaves getting 30 to 35. And maybe even more than LeBron James and Anthony Davis, because he is younger. He does have fresher legs. Ride him now while you can, right? So Austin Reaves, again, is very important and significant. D'Angelo Russell, even he, as much as I know many in Lakers Nation think he's probably the weak link and this, that, and the other, he's not. Again, he plays a very specific, important role for this Lakers unit. He is a guy that handles the ball, that is going to be the playmaker and the point guard, that's going to get you, 6 to 8 assists per game. He shoots 40+% from three, right? He's going to shoot efficiently from the field. He has the ability to play off the ball. He gets to be an extension of like an Austin Reaves and LeBron James. He, again, can kind of be another bridge guy for the bench unit. So that way you don't have to ride Austin Reaves too heavily if you need to. And then also, LeBron James wants to play off the ball more, right? LeBron wants to be able to defer and let guys that are the point guard allow to be the point guard. And that's where D'Lo comes in. He is a very good, solid point guard, and especially one for LeBron James. Now, obviously, he lacks the defensive side, so I can see, hey, he's the least adequate of the defensive guys, but Austin Reaves isn't this like all-world defensive guy. He's good, not great. And LeBron James, he kind of takes games and plays and moments off, which is understandable. Again, he's 39 years old. He's about to be in year 21. And so that isn't that crazy of an idea there. And, we saw LeBron and his ability to lock in and play defense in the playoffs. He kind of conserves himself, right? So, but again, D'Lo plays a very specific, important role as a secondary 40% shooter. Now you have D'Lo and Reaves, both who shoot 40%, who can play off of one another, and also both guys can play off of LeBron James. D'Angelo Russell was very good playing off the ball for the Lakers. Gives the Lakers multiple threats on the court, and that can also both go generate their own buckets, right? D'Lo is a legit 3-level scorer. That is important. That has value. That is significant, right? Like, would it be nice if D'Lo was this elite defensive guy? Sure, but there's not very many. I mean, even like Jamal Murray, the Denver Nuggets had to hide on the defensive end. But his ability to score and the things that he does for that roster were so important and significant. D'Lo is going to provide a lot of the same thing. People also forget, one, he was dealing with an injury, and two, he only played 10 full games. I don't even think he played that many with the Lakers, like fully healthy, right? So he didn't have time as your point guard to be a guy that can build the chemistry, have the understanding of where does this guy like the ball? Where does that guy like the ball? Where's this guy's shooting pocket? Where's that guy's shooting pocket? Oh, he likes it on the left side instead of the right side. Like all of those things. You saw D'Lo, who actually does a very good job of taking care of the ball for his career, and his assist to turnover ratio is fantastic. He's also a guy that you saw turn the ball over on several occasions, not because he necessarily made a mistake, but it was just a lack of communication, which now, with the full offseason, a full training camp, a full preseason, that will be understood. So he should be better just through that process and provide a lot of what the Lakers need. Now, this is where, not that, there's the weakest link or anything like that. Again, I think each piece provides a very significant, important factor, significant cog, so to speak, right? But the one sort of question mark is, do you go Jared Vanderbilt or do you go Rui Hachimura? Because there is a legit and almost more logical sense that Jared Vanderbilt should be the starting three, right? Again, Austin Reaves is a good, not great defensive player. D'Angelo Russell is not a very good. He tries. He was actually very solid for the Lakers compared to what he was for teams like Minnesota and Brooklyn and Golden State and stuff like that. Like, D'Lo actually was getting after it. He's just not a very good defensive guy. He's too slow and just doesn't have the foot speed, right? So, yes, you don't have a good defender there. You have a good, not great defender in Austin Reaves. LeBron James is going to take a lot of defensive plays off, and Anthony Davis has got to carry the workload defensively. If you go with Rui Hachimura is an absolute bucket getter, and he's a guy that can, again, provide a big scoring punch. Here's the problem, is that he's not very good defensively at the three, right? He's better suited for the four. Rui Hachimura in today's NBA is a 4 rather than a 3 because he doesn't have the foot speed and the quickness to stick with a lot of the twitchier forwards in the league, and he gets burned a lot, right? So he has been solid, right? He was the best we have ever seen him defend with the Lakers this in this short period. He was actually very surprising on the defensive end, but he still really struggles, and it becomes a problem at times. But when he's at the 4, he doesn't have a lot of those same struggles because a lot of 4s in today's NBA are similar to him. The Aaron Gordons. Why isn't Aaron Gordon, who is their best defensive guy, why doesn't he play the 3? Because he's not best suited at the 3. He's a liability shooting the basketball. He's question mark on numerous things at the 3 spot, but he can play the 4 very efficiently, very effectively. It doesn't mean he can't play the 3 in spots or at times. Same thing with Rui. Doesn't mean he can't play the 3 at spots or at times, but you look at the Lakers starting unit, you got LeBron James, Anthony Davis, D'Angelo Russell, and Austin Reaves. You have more than enough scoring with those 4 guys. You have more than enough playmaking. You have more than enough just everything except for the defensive end. That's the one caveat that you're lacking. And so there is a real argument to start Jared Vanderbilt and maybe even close with Jared Vanderbilt until Rui can actually step into the 4 spot. Right? Once LeBron is done and, whether he goes and plays with his son or he ends up retiring or doing whatever, and then Rui can shift to the 4 spot, then I think, then you're set. You're great. Because now you got Rui, who is more of a natural 4. You got Anthony Davis, and then you also got Jared Vanderbilt, who is a better, more natural 3 because he has the length, the foot speed, the twitchiness, all the things you need to defend the league's 3s, right? And he can also defend the best player on the other team and so on and so forth, right? So it makes sense to actually start Jared Vanderbilt and have him be kind of the key cog that is added to the already functioning engine, where you can make an argument if you want to kind of, answer the question of who would be the Lakers' weakest link. If Rui is the starter, then in that case, it would be Rui. I still think he would provide a lot that what the Lakers need, size, toughness, a guy that can score and put the ball in the basket, right? 3-level scorer, guy you can dump the ball down to, put him on the block if you need to, right? Gives you some flexibility, but you already have such an abundance of what Rui would provide the starting unit that you can make an argument, okay, Rui would be the weakest link because he's kind of playing out of position. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I understand some teams, they have conflicting players or they have guys playing out of position that shouldn't be really playing out of position, things like that. Well, the Lakers, if they started Rui Hachimura, then you basically have that. You have a guy that it's you don't really need his offense for the starting unit. And you also, on top of that, he's playing out of position and is not great defending most of the 3s. I'm not saying all of them, but he's not good at guarding, the Mikal Bridges of the world. So then if you wanted to answer the question, I guess that would be the case. But I don't know. Time will tell and we'll see. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with my points? Do you not? Do you disagree? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below.